Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back to Bison's Aquarium. And we're going to start filling this thing today. We've already got about half full. I've got my substrate in it and got my rocks and driftwood the way I think I'm going to like it. I got my bubble wall in there already. And I've already got the pump working. So I robbed 5 gallon out of this tank to help get it started. Now that one's pretty much a new tank too, so it really didn't do that much. I'm still going to use a safe start or whatever that stuff is that you start off aquariums with. And here's what we've got so far. I'm going to have to build a hood for it. I did paint the back black, like I said I was going to. I've got my pump run down here. I'll show you that if I can see through the glass here. I was going to paint the side, but I'm glad I didn't. But I got the pump right there in the back underneath the rock, and it pumps up this tube right here into the flower pot, into the cotton batting. I've got charcoal inside the cotton batting. Then it fills it up into the lava rocks, which is the same stuff I used for underneath in the gravel. And then it comes out this tube right here, down into here. And I'm just going to leave that how long it is, just in case I have to move that. I want to get a better hose. I want to get a clear hose to put here. This is just temporary until I can get a clear hose that fits this bigger tube or elbow. And we're just filling it up with water that I had in my buckets here with my lids. I always keep water just for that reason. And that gets me 25 gallon with the 5 gallon I took out of the other tank. Plus, I've got another 5 gallon that's going to come out of the 10 gallon that they're in right now. So, with any luck, we're going to have the fish in their home. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other 2 buckets up here and get it in here, and then I'll put my stuff in it so that it will treat the water, so I can go ahead and put them in here. I've got a heater inside the box. I'm not ready for that yet. Actually, I could go ahead and plug it in, but I want to wait until I can spend my time monitoring it. I don't like messing with heaters until I'm ready to monitor it. So, let me get my other bucket. We'll get started. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and treat the tank. And since the 4 of the gallons are tap water that's set in the buckets for a week, and one of the buckets, 5-gallon buckets, is out of my tank, plus the other bucket's going to be coming out of the 10-gallon tank. So I'm going to treat this like it's a 20-gallon tank and not a 40-gallon tank, with the safe, aqua safe. All right, so we got a teaspoon. Now we're gonna dedicate this to the fish tanks. So we're gonna put 4 of these in it. Now it shouldn't take very long for that pump to pump it all through, going up through the filter. And eventually I'm going to put plants in this so that it grows in the planter box. So it's going to be a filter and a planter at the same time, so the plants will kind of hang down over the tank. This is going to be a sharp looking tank. So I've got 2 of these, and I'm going to make a hood for this, and I'll show you what I'm planning. I've got 2 of these, and I'm going to make a hood that goes on there just like that. And it's going to set up there about like that right there. And I've got 2 of those. So I'm going to make them just like that right there. But for now, I'm just going to use them like that, just temporary. I've got a light coming for it that goes under, that's going to go underneath here, that is submersible, so it doesn't matter if it gets wet. Then I got to paint the bottoms of these and restain and repolyurethane these, because these have been sitting around in different atmospheres. This one's got a little dingy, this one doesn't. So but we're going to use these. I've had them laying around for a long time, so we're going to use those, and that'll leave this open in here so I can utilize my hose and stuff like that. And then I might just leave that lamp right there just to light it up until I get my other light, because it does put some pretty good light in there, just enough to show the tank off. So we're going to go ahead and start working on getting these fish moved. I don't have a net, and I got to keep checking the camera. I don't have a net that big, so I may have to go get a net, because they're pretty big fish. The one is like 6 inches, so I'm going to need an 8-inch net. I don't know, I might look around and see if there's something else I can do to catch them, to put them in here. They're going to be stressed out. Hopefully this is the last time they get stressed out. I'd like to acclimate them to this tank, because I'm sure the temperature is going to be different, but we're going to check the temperature before. No matter how you do this, they're going to be stressed out. So we're just going to try to do the minimum amount of stress for them. And I got a good bunch of hiding places under there for them. I got a hiding place that goes in underneath and back behind there. This here is a hiding place for small fish, and I got little crevices down in here for small fish to hide in, because I do plan to feed them live fish too, rosy reds. So that gives the small fish a fighting chance. And like I said with Jake and Jake, it gives it a more feel of realistic. So I planted a water lily in this tank, in that tank and in the 20-gallon tank in the bedroom. I just experiment with them to see if they'll grow. They were in a package. They were in this package that was in that box that came with all the stuff that came with the fish, and live plant bulbs. I don't even know if they're any good. This thing's got a hole in it, so I don't know if they've dried out because it's been stored for a long time. But we're going to try it and see if it's any good. If it don't grow, ain't no big deal. If it does, great. I'll have lilies coming up, and then they'll be floating on the top of the water eventually. And I like to dim my lights a little bit. In fact, the lights in the 55 need to be dimmed. So instead of me putting things up in there to hide some of the lighting, the lilies will grow to the top of the water, and it'll act the same way and distribute light differently. So this is going to make a really nice aquarium stand. I'm actually glad I'm doing this, turning it into an aquarium stand instead of a gun cabinet, because I like it better as a fish tank stand than in a gun rack. So the next thing we're going to do is try to figure out how we're going to acclimate them, because I'm going to have to put them in a bag or something. I don't know, if I get the temperature the same, I'm going to take the thermometer out of the 10-gallon tank that they're in now, and I'm put it in here, and if they're exactly the same, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in there and hope for the best. No matter, like I said, no matter how you do it, they're going to be stressed out. So we're going to go ahead and put them in. So you guys stay tuned. Alright guys, we're getting ready to go ahead and put them in here. I just changed the temperature of this water and made it equal to the temperature of the other water. And check this guys out. I just made this. I didn't have a net, so I made a net that was big enough to take care of the Jack Dempseys. Now this is copper tubing that I bent and made the frame. Then I soldered it together here on this end and soldered it here, here, and here to keep it from being flimsy and twisting. And then this is a vest that you would see a construction worker use, and I sewed it all the way around, and then I tied a knot at the bottom, and that ought to work for bringing them fish over here. It's not the best, but I bet it's better than one you get at a store. So we're getting ready to go get, we're going to try to get both of them at the same time and get them over here. They're not going to be happy, but here we go. There they are. And they're going to hide. They are in their new home now. And they splashed me all over the place. Got my glasses all wet. And I was able to get both of them. So now we just got to wait for the water to get clear. Now we can rest easy. Now they are in their permanent home. Oh well, we'll see them eventually. But there it is. So now we just gotta wait for the water to clear and start its own life cycle. Now he is pretty. By God, he didn't look that pretty in the 10-gallon tank. But that's the he, and the she's in there somewhere. She found her a hiding place, apparently, right away. So, anyway, I can't take you far from the tripod because I got you on charge. But they are transferred into their 40 tall. And we'll get one more look while he's here showing off. Every time I get the camera on him, he runs. There he comes. He definitely is pretty. Now they're going to have to be put in a bigger tank eventually. I may have to change them around. I may have to put the Jack Dempseys in the 55 and put Jake and Charlie, well, Jake anyway, in here. I got to get me another Placo. But there they are in their home. And let's hope they do well. I'm sure they will. I don't see any problems with them. They look healthy. They were just very unhappy because they were being moved and in the 10-gallon tank. So now they're out of the 10-gallon tank and in the 40-gallon tank, which I got to add more water, but I want to wait until I get everything situated the way I want, because every time you stick your arm in there it raises the water. So I'm just going to leave it like that until I'm completely done. And say goodbye. We'll talk at you later. Oh, and by the way, their names are Jack and Jill. So I thought that was pretty funny. Since they're Jack Dempseys, I figured I'd just call them Jack and Jill because it is a male and a female. So there you go. Jack and Jill's new home is ready and in service. So you guys take it easy. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of their new home. Anyway, later.